It is a sweltering Tuesday evening here in New York City. A big crowd expected here at the stadium. The Yankees were hot last night, and they are looking for more of the same tonight. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's defending world champion New York Yankees against the Oakland Athletics in the second game of a four-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with John Flaherty and Constantino Martinez. I'm Michael Kay. It was all Yankees yesterday. They fell behind early, but never looked back. And thanks to a couple of switch hitters, the offense was clicking.
Well, Mark Teixeira missed a game and a half with that right thumb bone bruise, but he came back last night swinging a hot bat. Home run number 29, a line drive into the seats in right field. And this is probably a better sign. Going the other way, a deep drive to left center, double. He had 3 hits on the night. But Nick Swisher, you can bat him second, you can bat him fifth, you can bat him seventh. It does not matter. He has a simple swing all year, driving a ball to center field, another ball to left center, hitting left-handed, a couple of doubles, 3 RBIs. He ended up with 3 hits on the night, just what the Yankees needed offensively last night.
Hey, when the lineup has 3, 4, and 5 that really nails it, you know what? You score a lot of runs. John told you about Teixeira and Swisher in the middle. Cano batting fourth. He seems to like it there. 3 for 4, a home run, 3 ribbies, and 3 runs scored. Let's look now at tonight's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Local kid from New Jersey, Vin Mazzaro, will get the start for the A's, 6-6 with a 3.61. Phil Hughes goes for the Yankees, 15-6 with a 4.12. His last start, Tino, for Phil Hughes, not that great.
Yeah, probably his worst start of the season. Lasted just over 3 innings pitched, walked 5 hitters, and his location was terrible. Here you see a fastball right out over the middle of the plate there. Vernon Wells hammers in right center. Fastball up in the zone right here. Home run to left. He's got to find a way tonight to incorporate the rest of his pitches. His changeup, his curveball. He's got to find a way to get back in that groove, get the hitters back off balance, and have a good outing and give the Yankees some innings tonight.
And Marcus Thames, well, everybody wants to be like Marcus Thames. It's great to be great. He's been great for a long stretch. We'll talk about it next on segment 2. To game 2 of this 4-game set. That's Tino Martinez. I'm Michael Kay, and John Flaherty will rejoin us in just a moment. Tino, I remember when you played and you were hot. You're just happier guy. So right now, Marcus Thames couldn't be happier than he is, right?
Oh, he's got to be excited right now. Just every time he steps in the box, he's so comfortable. He's so relaxed. He's seeing the ball big, and no matter what they throw, here you see a left-handed slider down and in, down and away, pounding everything out of the ballpark, up and away. It doesn't matter what kind of pitch you throw. Any time in the count, he's just hammering it. And last night, 97 miles an hour, right down the middle, drops the head of the bat, big home run. The hottest guy in the Yankee lineup right now, just carrying the Yankee offense on his shoulders.
And you know what? You have to ride him if you're the Yankees. That's exactly what they're doing every day. He's the DH. His last 6 games tells you why. 9 for 21, 6 of the 9 home runs, and 11 runs batted in. Not too bad. Well, Phil Hughes would like some offense from Marcus Thames. Phil Hughes tries to bounce back from a subpar outing. When we get back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, next on Yes. Inspire Domino's Pizza, Domino's.com, and track it all the way to your front door with Domino's Tracker. By Raymore and Flanagan, furnishing your style with a guaranteed delivery of 3 days or less. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. Hot, humid evening here in New York City. Crowd filing in. Should be another big house of over 45,000. Yankees against the A's. Yankees have taken the field. Let's take a look at the A's starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. A's are 65 and 65. They lead off their center fielder, Coco Crisp. Derek Barton at first. Kurt Suzuki will catch. Jack Cuss, the DH, cleans up. Batting fifth and playing third base, Kevin Kuzmanov. Mark Ellis at second base, bats sixth. Number 7 hitter, left fielder, Jeff Larish. Rajay Davis in right field will hit eighth. Batting ninth and playing shortstop is Cliff Pennington. So Phil Hughes is ready, and so is Coco Crisp. So let's do it here at Yankee Stadium. The big right-hander deals a strike, and we are underway. Let's take a look at the numbers on Phil Hughes. 15 and 6, less than a hit per inning, 122 strikeouts. Opponents hit 251 against him. We'll get our scouting report in just a moment. The 0-1. Grounded foul. Let's take a look at the scouting report, Tino.
This is a bounce-back start for Phil Hughes, coming off his worst outing, allowing 5 walks in 3 2/3 innings pitched. He has to find a way to put away these open-A hitters. Opponents have been fouling off over 200 two-strike pitches over the last few starts, and he's got to find a way to get that pitch count down by changing speeds. He has to change speeds, uses curveball and changeup in order to keep the hitters off balance and find a way to get quicker outs.
Breaking ball just misses outside. He's had trouble with 2 strikes, and he's had trouble with 2 outs.
Well, his last start against the Blue Jays had a real good fastball, too, 95, 96, but he just kept coming at the Blue Jay hitters, and he was giving up some home runs, some hits.
Fouled away, and there's one of those two-strike foul balls that Tino talked about.
Yeah, foul balls. Like John said, he's throwing too many fastballs, one back-to-back-to-back, too many in a row where the hitters get the timing down. Even though they can't square it up, they foul it off, and before you know it, his pitch count is too high, and he gets a little bit of trouble.
You want to keep Crisp off the bases. 22 stolen bases for him. Missed outside with the off-speed. Now, with 2 outs, he's allowed 36 runs, and there's the stat on the 2-strike foul balls. And with 1 out or no outs, he's allowed 29 runs. So he, pitch-wise, out-wise, he's been unable to just put away the opposition. 2-2. Foul back. What is it, John? Do you have to change speeds to get that 2-strike out?
You know, you have to be a special pitcher to stand on a major league mound and just keep pumping fastball after fastball. And Tino talked a little bit last night about a straight fastball. That's what Phil Hughes has. I mean, it's 95, but it's pretty true. He's got to mix in some changeups and some curveballs.
There's a ground ball to second. Cano retires Crisp, and there's one away. Let's take a look at the A's defense. I've checked out the Yankees defense against the A's, brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher. That's left to right. Infield, Pena, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira third to first. Posada is behind the plate, and we've talked about Phil Hughes on the mound.
You know what, Michael? We're not saying Phil Hughes to turn into kind of a finesse pitcher, but just show some other pitches, even if they're for balls. And if you don't want to get beat with your changeup, fine. Throw it down. It'll get you off the fastball, Tino.
Exactly. Even though it might be his 3rd or 4th best pitch, he has to show it just to put it in the back of the hitter's minds.
A good start there. A little get-me-over curveball.
Now, just to expand on the 2-strike foul ball note that Tino gave you, 235 2-strike pitches. So where does that rate? Well, that's the second most in Major League Baseball. The most, it's a quality pitcher, Justin Verlander, who's at 265, a guy who pumps fastballs at them. The 1-1. Foul back.
That's a good fastball right there on the inner half. Now he's got him set up for a curveball away and changeup. He can throw whatever he wants right here, even waste a fastball.
I think the changeup is really the big pitch. And in spring training, I remember, was why he made the rotation, because of the changeup, the development. I think Phil doesn't want to get beat with it.
That was off speed. Fouled off.
I was talking to manager Joe Girardi before the game, talking about his curveball. I think he has a great curveball. It's a little 12-6. It's got great rotation on it, and he can throw it for strikes. You've seen him throw it first pitch right here for a strike, get me over, and he can do that quite a bit and get quite a few strikes out of it.
Missed inside. Fastball at 94 tonight. Count 2-2.
Tino, you talked in the scouting report, a little rebound start. This is what I want to see from Phil Hughes, because he had pretty good stuff in Toronto and got beat up a little bit. How's he going to respond here tonight?
Foul away. There have been 4 two-strike foul balls already. And the 2-2. Now, Hughes has 15 wins, and he's one of 3 active pitchers to win 15 games as a starter after appearing in at least 40 games in relief the previous season. The other 2, Derek Lowe from 01 to 02, and Ryan Dempster from 07 to 08. 3-2. Still 3-2.
And as a hitter, Michael, when you're up there and you know a guy's got a fastball and a curveball and he's going to keep throwing fastballs at you, it makes it a lot easier to sit on certain pitches. But when he throws a few changeup, just to put the seed in your mind, he may throw a changeup here. It changes your whole level of comfortability there at the plate.
See, Phil Hughes tied for second in the American League with 15 wins. Sabathia with 18 leads. And Derek Barton works a walk. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. There's Kurt Suzuki. 16 hits in his last 89 at-bats as his average is going down. Count 1-0.
We talked last night. The A's will not intimidate you offensively. I think after last night with Larish's home run, 82 home runs on the year. They run the bases a little bit better, more aggressive. But if you're Phil Hughes, you can just come right at this lineup. Throw strikes with the off-speed pitches. Try to get some strikeouts with the fastball.
Strike.
He should have some pretty good memories. His second start of the year, he threw a 1-hitter in Oakland. 10 strikeouts in that ball game. Should be a pretty good matchup. Tied with the Mariners for 82. Bob Guerin, the manager, has to manufacture some runs, hit and run, steal some bases.
Suzuki used to wear number 24, and that was retired by the A's when Ricky Henderson called it quits, and he took number 8 because of Yogi Berra. He said, "Call me Yogi Suzuki." That hasn't caught on. He's still Kurt.
He's about 10 rings to get in that Yogi status.
Yes, he does. Count 2-1.
John, as a catcher, Michael talked about last night, he could be wearing down. That's why his average may be dropping. When you're catching late in the season like that, you seem to get a little more tired hitting or catching behind the plate?
Definitely hitting. You know, mentally, you're in the game behind the plate. Hitting, you kind of feel yourself dragging a little bit. You know, and there's a difference right there, too. A fastball and a hitter's count. You're just kind of, the bat head doesn't get there like it did early on. Abbreviated leg kick and just a little bit behind on the fastball. Be interested to see what pitch is coming here. He's had a pretty good curveball, Phil Hughes has early on.
Pitch inside and 3-2, and just as Tino predicted, Here's a high pitch count in this inning, and that's why he might be in danger of becoming a 5-inning pitcher. If he's going to average 20 pitches per inning, you do the math.
And although the Yankees just used one reliever last night in Javier Vasquez, I'm sure they'd love for Phil Hughes to go deep in this game and keep that bullpen fresh.
This could be a double play. This will help him out. There's one. And there's two. That's a 10th double play that Hughes has induced this year. A's nothing. And the Yankees coming to bat. It's Vin Mazzaro. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. Yankees are a season-high 31 games over 500. They lead off their left fielder, Brett Gardner. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, bats second. Batting third and playing first is Mark Teixeira. Robinson Cano, comfortable at cleanup, he'll play second. Nick Swisher's in right field, batting fifth. Batting 16, catching, Jorge Posada. Marcus Thames, the DH, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing center field, Curtis Granderson. And the number 9 hitter, let's take a look at the numbers on the New Jersey kid, Vin Mazzaro. 19 games, 16 starts, 6-6, 3.61, less than a hit per inning, and opponents at 259 against him. Tino, now the scouting report.
Instead of Michael from Hackensack, New Jersey, has over 100 family and friends in the stands tonight, so he's got to keep his emotions in check. He's got a power sinker and a good slider down. I think he has to keep the ball down the zone, and hopefully he learned last night from Cahill what the Yankees can do if you elevate the ball. And the Yankee lefties, they got a great group of lefties in the lineup tonight that are not only hot, but they're patient hitters, and they will work the count and make him elevate the ball.
So Vin was born in Hackensack and grew up in Rutherford, which is kind of close. All within spitting distance of the new Meadowlands Stadium. Here's Brett Gardner, 389 on base percentage. Pitches outside. Gardner likes leading off, hitting 321 in 14 games at the top of the lineup this year. The Yankees are 18-4 against the A's since the start of 2008. 37-18 since the start of 2004. Count 2-1.
When you're from New Jersey or New York and you play for an opposing team and you have maybe one start a year in Yankee Stadium in front of all your family members and friends, a packed house, it's got to be exciting, but you have to find a way to stay calm. It's not like going to pitch down in Tampa or somewhere where you might have 10,000, 11,000 people there and your family may be there, but to have them all here at Yankee Stadium in your hometown.
How do you fight being overly geeked, though?
I can't imagine that. Being in Yankee Stadium from New York, I'd be overly pumped as well.
Slapped into left field. It's a base hit. Larish will get the ball in quickly. So a leadoff single for Gardner, and the ball is thrown away, but it bounces right back to Barton as Gardner leads off with a single. Let's take a look at the A's defense, brought to you by Mercedes. You've got Larish, Crisp, and Davis left to right in the outfield. Infield, Kuzmanov, Pennington, Ellis, and Barton. Third and first, Suzuki behind the plate. Mazzaro's on the mound. John, I should ask you, you did come into Yankee Stadium.
You know what, Michael? It's so much easier when you're a position player and you get up 4 times. I mean, I just looked at it. I'm going to go up there and swing as hard as I can 4 times, enjoy it. If I get a base hit, all the family's happy, and then just concentrate on catching. I can't imagine being a starting pitcher where the focus is on you, the whole game relies on your shoulders.
Pitch to Jeter's inside.
But you know what? He's a Bergen County guy, so he's tough, Michael. All the Bergen County, was he Rutherford High School, I believe?
Rutherford High.
Yes.
All tough kids in Bergen County. Elevated high school baseball. Be able to step right on the mound at Yankee Stadium and compete.
Now, you're saying that, you're not even a Bergen County guy, so you must have respect.
I went to high school in Bergen County, St. Joseph Regional. The Green Knights. I don't think we ever competed against Rutherford High School.
I'm a Bergen County guy, too. I lived there for the first 3 years as a Yankee and really enjoyed it.
Runner goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. Not in time. It goes into center field. Now, Suzuki has really struggled this year throwing people out. He's now 9 of 62, which is about 14%.
Yeah, well, Brett Gardner gets a good jump. But if you watch Suzuki and his mechanics, he catches the ball, then there's like a little hesitation and then a low throw. I mean, he's not moving towards second base as the pitch is coming to him. He's kind of got dead feet. And that would explain why those numbers are low. He's got a strong throwing arm. He just needs a little momentum going towards second base.
The only catcher that has a lower percentage of catching runners trying to steal, Francisco Cervelli. Gardner is 38th stolen base. And in this game, got 2 of the top 5. Rajai Davis right ahead of him. 3-1. 3-2. We detailed yesterday Derek struggles at the plate. 1 for his last 22 and 2 for his last 27. So he's worked the count full. His average of 268 is the lowest average he's ever had on this date in his career. So trying to snap out of this.
I watched him hit batting practice today and yesterday, and he looked very good up there. He was hitting the ball very hard to right center, left center. He's just got to get those hits in the game to get your confidence level up there and find ways to get himself in that groove again, because his mechanics are solid.
Just missed outside, so Jeter walks. Not smart to put the first 2 runners on base in this lineup with Teixeira as hot as he is coming up. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. Very hot day in New York. It's pretty hot evening, 91 degrees. Humidity 38%. The wind's out of the north-northwest at 6 miles per hour. And the forecast is warm and clear.
Tino, in the scouting report, you talked about his power sinker. I'm sure he's going to be thinking about that here with Mark Teixeira trying to get a ground ball.
Runners go. Throw to second. Not in time. Double steal. So you can see their game plan with Suzuki behind the plate.
Brett Gardner gets a good jump, and Suzuki knows he does not have a play at third, so he goes to second. And again, it's a strong throw. He's got a good arm. Just does not have a lot of momentum moving towards second base. And that's going to cost him here as it's a bang-bang play, and Derek Jeter is in there safely. Kind of sits back.
Grounded, foul, and slick move there by Cano to actually get his bat on the foul ball on the extra.
Look at those 29 home runs, 5th in the American League. I was thinking, Mark Teixeira, last night you have 3 hits, you hit your 29th home run. All of a sudden you got second and third, Tino, to put the ball in play, cash in.
You know, right here, ground ball to second base does the job.
And that one plumps Teixeira, and that'll load the bases. So an inauspicious beginning for Vin Mazzaro.
A good hard slider down in right here. Just really tried to bury it down the zone and caught Teixeira right on that foot right there. But then again, it could be a case of them returning home with a bunch of people in the stands. just can't find his groove to get comfortable early on.
It looks like he has a good power slider, too. Tried to throw it down and in, just yanked it a little bit. So now you have Mark dealing with, what, a bruised thumb, and now he's going to have a bruised right foot.
So bases loaded, and here is Cano. Cano batting cleanup with the absence of Alex Rodriguez. How much does he like batting cleanup? We see his overall numbers. Cleanup, 27 for 75, 360, 7 homers and 23 ribbies in 19 games. Pitch outside.
We talk about how hot Marcus Thames has been the last 6, 7, 8 games. Robinson Cano's been doing this all season long. Hitting in the clutch, just nice and relaxed at bats, getting good balls to hit, and just catching it when he has the opportunity.
And Mazzaro deals a strike. Cano has hit the ball out twice with the bases loaded this year. One was against Cleveland, and this one is against Seattle. Cano with the bases loaded, 8 for 13. That's 615 with 21 runs batted in. And the team as a whole has 10 grand slams, which is tied for the team record. With the bases loaded, the Yankees at 400 as a team with 10 grand slams.
I think back, Robinson had terrible numbers with the bases loaded, right? Was it last year?
Yeah.
Really figured it out this year.
Count 2-2.
You know, I'm watching the defensive alignment too, and Coco Crisp is shading Robinson towards right center. You see the career numbers with the bases loaded, and it looks like Mazzaro trying to pound Robinson Cano inside, but a lot of room out in left center field, and a swing that we've seen from Robinson. Very easy for him to go the other way and drive the ball. Looks like the A's have a scouting report to try to crowd him inside off the plate.
Mazzaro sets, and the 2-2. Fouled away.
We talked about it quite a bit in spring training as well. Robinson Cano hitting in the 5th spot coming out of spring training, and how he had to be more selective with men in scoring position. He used to just chase balls the first pitch, maybe a sinker down away, roll over on it, get himself out. This year he's taking a lot more pitches, been a lot more patient, and his productivity shows.
Last year, Cano 7 for 27 with the bases loaded. That's 258. The 2-2. Just got a piece to stay alive. And look how much more selective he's become. They wanted to walk that tightrope. They like him being aggressive at the plate, but they didn't want him to expand the strike zone. So 48 walks, by far his career high, and there's still a month of the season to go.
See that stat right there? 30 walks in 2009. Not too many walks per month there.
The 2-2. Fouled away.
Watch this young kid trying to throw the ball inside to Robinson Cano, and I was always a little leery back there. Bases loaded, short porch in right field. Can this young kid locate inside, or is he going to make a mistake on the inner half that could turn into a grand slam? Execute a pitch inside, you're going to be successful. You miss, Robinson Cano will make you pay. Maybe a lot to ask this young right-hander to do. We'll see.
The 2-2. Quite an at-bat for Cano.
And as a hitter, early in the game, especially in the first inning, when you get a chance to come up with the bases loaded and no outs, or second and third no outs, it's probably your favorite situation, because all you have to do is get a ball in the outfield, and you at least have an RBI to get the team on top, and you give yourself a pretty good at-bat going into the rest of the game. It sort of settles you down and comforts you there at the plate.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. 2-2. Now it'll be a 10-pitch at bat.
Hated this as a catcher. Hated the foul balls. Hated the kid making good pitches. Start thinking to yourself back there, man, we just showed him everything we have here in this at-bat, and he spoiled it. Now I got to go to a different pitch, something he's probably not comfortable throwing. You're fighting for your life already. You haven't even gotten it out in the first inning.
2-2. Hit sharply the second. They could turn two. There's one. And there's two. A run scores. But Mazzaro will trade those 2 outs for that 1 run. Yankees up 1-0 as Jeter moves to third.
Robinson Cano hits this ball hard right on the screws to Ellis, makes a nice play to Pennington, and they're going to turn it. But you're right, Michael. Mazzaro will take this. A couple of outs traded for a run. Take your chances with Nick Swisher. A great at bat for Robinson Cano. Hit that ball hard.
Mazzaro made a good pitch there to a slider down and in. Fortunately for him, it was down. It wasn't up in the zone. He would have killed it. Probably knocked it out of the ballpark, but instead he put a real good swing on it and hit one of those atom balls you just can't control.
Here's Swisher. Of course, there's no RBI with the double play, but the run counts for the Yankees. And what a difference that makes in how Mazzaro feels right now. He had bases loaded, nobody out. He's thinking, I might give up 3 runs. Now there's 1. He gets an out here, he gave up 1 run. Count 2-0.
From a guy who has some experience catching behind some real good Yankee lineups, you are not out of the woods yet. I mean, you got 2 outs, and you can't start thinking ahead. Like, I've just dodged the bullet here with only 1 run with Nick Swisher and Jorge Posada on deck.
There's a strike.
You always relax when the Scott Brociouses came up there, and then the next thing you know, he's dragging a big 2-out hit. 100 RBIs.
From the number 9 hole.
Yeah.
The 2-1. 3-1. Mazzaro's pitch count certainly getting up there. 28 pitches here in the first inning.
These are always the counts where you find out about a kid. Is he going to come right at Nick Swisher 3-1 or pitch around him?
Grounded up the middle. Fielded there by Ellis. He bobbles. And he loses the play. Jeter scores. It's 2-0 Yankees.
Mazzaro came right at Nick Swisher. You give him credit for that. A little sinker down and away. And very unusual for Ellis, a sure-handed second baseman.
And they give him an error.
Usually he goes to his right on the backhand. That's going to be an easy play for him. You don't see that very often from the Oakland A's second baseman, one of the best. It's a 3rd error on the year.
There's Posada. Lofted to deep left. Giving chase Larish. On the run. He won't get there. It's off the wall. Swisher rounds third. He's going to score. Posada's going for 3. He's in there. An RBI triple for Posada. And the Yankees lead 3-0. And that bench has the look of Posada just hit a triple.
John, you said it. There's never a break. You never can relax in this lineup. You give the Yankees an extra out like Mark Ellis did there at second base. Jorge Posada comes up, gets a fastball right down the middle, drives out to left field there, and just misses a home run. There's no breaks in this lineup. Ball run away, pretty good pitch there by Mazzaro on the outer half. Even better job of hitting by Jorge. He stays right on it. That ball's hit a pretty long way there for an outside sinker.
What's he thinking going for 3 there? I mean, you know, a good throw gets him. This just cracks me up right here. Now I'm thinking double. I'm going to kick it into another gear. Uh-oh, I don't have another gear. Would have been thrown out, but gets away with it.
It's the crowd. The crowd gets going when the ball's in the air, hits the wall, you get pumped, and you kind of just forget about everything else and think, I'm going for it.
Well, we got to listen to him. A triple. He hasn't been thrown out this year.
Long time between triples, April 26th of 2008.
Another catcher who runs well. It's incredible. They're all around the league.
Swing and a miss.
But, you know, as a hitter, I view it as a hitter, too. When I didn't have a triple the whole year, I wanted one. I wanted to fill up that column. And I usually got one a year almost, except for a couple of years, and I'm sure that might have been looking for Jorge's mind as he's around the second base.
The 0-2. Still 0-2. Count 1-2.
Marcus Thames getting another start, red hot lately. You wonder how long it'll continue, Tino. You almost don't want to think about it or talk about it.
Swing and a miss as he swings through a breaking ball. But the Yankees get 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. At the end of 1, 3-0. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. We have 2 choices for you. Was it the home run in the 98 World Series in Game 1 or the home run in the 2001 World Series Game 4? Now, you don't tell us till later, Tino. We don't want you to influence the vote.
I won't influence the vote. I like them both.
That little girl was not around for those home runs.
Nor were a lot of kids here.
First Yankee game. Very nice. Here's Jack Cust. So Phil Hughes has himself a 3-0 lead. The Yankees seem to have a propensity to score for Hughes. And when they score 6 or more runs for him, he's 12-0.
It's pretty good. 12-0.
Yep.
What you love about this lead, 3-0 here in top of the second, he can start throwing the secondary pitches and not worry about a mistake costing him the ball game. You saw a curveball first pitch and a changeup second. Another changeup.
Now, John, I have a trivia question for you.
You know these are not my strength, right?
I think you might know this, though, because you're involved in it. Jorge Posada, Tino Martinez, John Flaherty. List them in order of triples.
For their career?
Yeah.
I think I had 2.
Wrong, you had 3.
Oh.
Tino probably had about 6.
Oh, come on.
Tino had 21.
That's right.
Was that off? 6, 21? Is that a big difference there?
Well, you know, we talked about it last night. You know, guys have to fall down and whatnot. And playing early in my career in the Kingdom, I would hit some high fly balls to that right field wall. And, you know, they wouldn't go out of the park. They would just hit the top of that wall. And I'd be rounding first base already. That big hop it would take before the right fielder gets it. I'm on my way to third base, so I got some easy triples back then.
21 times they fell down? That's incredible.
That was a majority of them.
And Jorge has 10. 3-2. And Jack Cust walks. So Hughes with his second walk. And that's going to bring up Kevin Kuzminoff.
See Phil Hughes going to a 3-2 breaking ball there to Jack Hust. Missed out of the zone. Good fastball to start off Kuzminoff. Now you hope he goes back to his curveball and keeps using it, although he just walked a guy with it.
Popped up. Swisher puts it away for the first out. Keeping an eye on Tampa and Boston tonight. Toronto with a 1-0 lead in the top of the third. Yankees tied with Tampa top of the East. And Baltimore leads Boston 1-0 in the bottom of the second. Yankees and the Rays are tied atop the East for the 8th straight day. And that's a major league record this late in the season for any two teams. In fact, the Yankees have been tied for first place at the end of a day's play 23 times this season. And that sets a new franchise record. The old mark was 22 in 1924. One 1-0 to Ellis. 2-0. Too good. 50-50 ball strikes. Foul back. So the count 2-1. Yankees are up 3-0. Now the A's lost last night. They are 16-27 this year in season openers, and then in the second game, or series openers, in the second game of the series, they're 21-21. Count 3-1.
Phil Hughes does not want to be behind in the count like he has been early in this ball game, but like I said before, the A's will not scare you with the long ball. You can challenge in some of these counts. Take your chances.
Nubbed in front of the plate. It's kicked by Ellis. He's out. He was hit by a fair ball, and that means he's out. And they will send the runner back to first base. And the put out is given to Posada.
Good pitch down and away on a hitter's count, 3-1. You can see Ellis coming out, makes contact with the baseball. Obviously in front of home plate and in fair territory. Doug Eddings, a home plate umpire, all over it.
Now, what do you think this is about, John? Why would Island come out now?
I don't know if it's about pitch selection or maybe he saw something mechanically. You know, there was one fastball in that sequence to Ellis where he rushed it and up and in. Maybe Dave Island saw something, wants to correct it.
There's Jeff Larish had a home run in yesterday's game. Actually had 4 RBIs, 2 doubles, or a single, a double, and a home run.
We mentioned it a little bit last night. It has an unusual stance. It's almost like a trophy stance, straight up and down. Not a lot of movements in his hands. Has a big leg kick. Looks like he likes the ball down.
Almost like a Japanese hitter, like those guys do. They kind of stand there and have that big leg kick, except Larish has a shorter leg kick, smaller stride. He has that finish where he doesn't quite an abbreviated finish like a Chase Utley.
It's almost like a little leaguer, you know, when you tell him finish your swing, you know, don't stop at contact.
2-1.
trophy stance. Not a lot of movement with the hands. His trigger would be his lower half with that leg kick.
Count 3-1. We're in the second inning. Yankees lead 3-0.
We talked about it in the opener about Phil Hughes, just his location. It's okay to throw a lot of fastballs. He's got a good fastball, but he has to locate it. And he just hasn't been seen to finally catch his mitt, find the spots, and locate the ball inside and outside.
Hot shot. Oh, what a nice play by Teixeira. Touches up for the final out. Teixeira flashing the gold glove, hauls that in, and takes a base hit away from Larish. Not much reaction time. He gets it in the heel on the backhand and steps on the bag, and the Yankees lead 3-0 as we go to two more games against the A's tomorrow night, then Thursday afternoon, then 3 day games against the Blue Jays, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon, and then 2 day games and 1 night game against the Orioles before the Yankees hit the road again. Curtis Granderson takes a pitch out of the zone. Now the count 2-0. And a strike. Granderson 1 hit in his last 16 at bats. And a strike. You know, they've done some reconstruction on Granderson's swing and his approach. And there he goes down looking. And I just wonder, Tino, I mean, he's 30 years old. How easy is that to reinvent his swing at that age?
Well, it's not easy at all, and it's even harder to do it in the middle of the baseball season. You know, you can do it in spring training or in the off season. But hitting coach Kevin Long did a great job of taking him to the batting cages and gave him a couple of days off and just told Joe Girardi, give me a few days to work with him. And Kevin Long said he was real receptive to it. He changed his stance a little bit. He put his hands back, his weights back, and he's been able to stay back a little longer and drive the ball to all fields and not be out front and swing those sliders down the way like he was early in the season.
Pena fouls it away.
I think he looks much better, but it's really hard. I don't care what you're hitting. It's changed in the middle of the season after you've had 200-300 at bats already.
And also when you're coming off a year when you had 30 home runs. The 0-1. 1-1.
Yeah, but he wasn't swinging the bat like a guy who hit 30 home runs last year. And I was more impressed that Curtis went to Kevin Long and said, "Listen, do you have anything for me? Let's go to work."
Because Long was more or less thinking during the offseason, right, John?
Yeah.
He was going to hold it off.
But I agree with Tino. I mean, Curtis Granderson right now, even though he just struck out there and struggling a little bit lately.
Right back to Mazzaro. 2-1.
Granderson looks like a dangerous hitter to me now. I watch him up at the plate and said, well, it looks like he might do something dangerous here. That's all you're looking for.
I told Kevin Long the other day he looks much better. Early in the season, he was really drifting out there. That front leg was coming down. His whole body was coming forward, and he couldn't stay back on any kind of off-speed pitch. If you threw him a fastball in the inner half, he could probably nail it, but everything else away from him, he couldn't do anything with it. Now he's got his weight back. He's seeing the ball deeper and driving it to all fields.
But you would make adjustments during the year, right, with your swing or your hand position, things like that?
Absolutely. I change all the time.
Gardner takes a strike.
I mean, you get in those zones where Marcus Thames is at right now, where you just stand in the box, your hands are perfect, your body feels good, you're seeing the ball well, and you don't make any adjustments at all. It comes easy. But during the season, when you're struggling, you have to make adjustments. You have to tinker a little bit here and there, move your hands back, raise your hands up, whatever it may be, to try to find that slot again to get you comfortable.
Well, what do you think? You have 6 months during the season. 2 months, maybe you're feeling great.
Exactly.
2 months you're feeling you're looking for it, and the other 2 months you're just trying to get by.
You're trying to get by, exactly. You're trying to. There are times when you might be hitting the ball well, but you still don't feel good at the plate. You're just grinding it out. You're serving out some singles to left, some singles to right. You're finding ways to keep yourself going. But once you get in that groove, you got to try to hang on to it as long as you can, because it comes and goes throughout the year.
Yeah, you know it's not going to last.
The 0-2 outside, 1-2. Mazzaro is closing in on 50 pitches here in the second inning. 1-2. High fly ball, right field. Rajay Davis is there. And Mazzaro with a nice bounce back inning as he retires the Yankees in order 1-2-3. And we go to the third. Green. We go to the third inning. It's 3-0 Yankees, and Phil Hughes will deal to Rajay Davis. Bunted behind the plate, and Posada could not get there. It was all the way back to the screen. And the 0-1. Rounded to second, Cano. One away.
Old school right there with the big high stirrups. Looks like University of Tampa right there, Tino, huh?
Davis is actually from Connecticut. He was born in Norwich, Connecticut. Lives in Waterford. So he's got family and friends here. Here's Cliff Pennington.
He's had kind of an interesting year, Davis, too. I mean, he was starting in center field, and Chris got hurt, and then, you know, the whole thing, he's been bouncing all over the place, now ends up in right field. Obviously, a guy with a lot of speed. Another changeup from Phil Hughes. Loving the fact here, you got one out in the third. He's probably thrown 4 or 5.
And that was a good changeup, too. Down away, good location on it.
You know, you wonder if pitchers, if they knew what it felt like to face a good changeup, probably more would have that pitch in their arsenal.
Exactly, especially when you're a pitcher like Phil Hughes, who has a 94, 95 mile-an-hour fastball. When you have that fastball and you work your off-speed pitches in there, it makes a huge difference because you just can't sit on one pitch. But when you continually throw fastball after fastball, you eventually get the timing down.
The 1-2. That's a base hit up the middle off the bat of Pennington.
Nice piece of hitting here. A little curveball was supposed to be backdoor. It ended up middle and down. Pennington does not try to do too much. Just stays up the middle. First base hit of the ball game for the A's.
Coco Crisp takes low, 1-0. Crisp grounded to second. That was in the first. Pena in on the grass at third. Count 2-0. Mention the Athletics at 65 and 65, so that's the 500 mark, and it's for the 26th time this season. And that's an A's franchise record, and it's a high for any major league team this season. The Marlins have been at 522 times. And last year the Twins were at 534 times, which is an American League record.
Let's see what Bob Guerin's thinking here, manager of the A's. A little 2-0 count. Jorge Posada going to go out and have a conversation. Maybe if they're thinking about a little hit and run. Pennington has stolen 23 bases. Crisp can handle the bat well. Mentioned they don't hit a lot of home runs. The man right there, Bob Guerin, has to manufacture some runs.
I want to remind everybody to stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Two-one, outside, 3-1. Phil Hughes comes into this game with 144 and a third innings pitched. To the best of anybody's guessing, his innings limit is anywhere from 175 to 180. So you do the math. There's not that many more starts left in there if he gives them length as Coco Crisp walks. That's the third walk in as many innings for Hughes.
It's disappointing when you have a 3-0 lead and you have 3 walks in the third inning. Really want to concentrate on pounding the strike zone. Well, Michael, we talked last night about Joe Girardi, you know, in a situation here fighting for the American League East. You also got the comfort of a wild card. There's going to be some very, very interesting decisions with Phil Hughes coming down the stretch.
Pitches high to Barton.
I'm talking about innings pitched, Michael. 175 innings pitched on a night tonight. You're more worried about pitch count right now. He's at 52 here in the top of the third. So the innings may not take effect tonight. It should be based on the pitch count.
And it shows you what a strange world we live in, because last time he didn't get out of the fourth inning. And in a way, it was a bonus for Girardi because he doesn't have to think about shortening an outing sometime in September. It was not a 6-inning outing. I mean, that's how strange a world we live in.
Yeah, but Tino brings up a good point. He had to work hard in the 3+ innings in Toronto, probably more than he would have in the game against Oakland early on, where he dominated for 7 innings. You know, game to game, it's totally different.
Go up and sign that, guys. Can you take over? First and second, 1 out. 3-0 Yanks. 2-1. His command's not there so far tonight. It hasn't hurt him yet, but now it's 3-1.
Yeah, you talked about, or I talked about, the lack of home run power for the Oakland A's, but I'll tell you what, you get a lot of fastball counts here. 3-1, 2-0. They become a lot more dangerous. Barton has 7 on the year, but he's in the driver's seat right here.
And a walk to load the bases. It's time for this moment in Yankees history, as Dave Island will go out and talk with you. And this moment is brought to you by Johnny Walker. Let's take a look what the moment is. We go back to 1995. Paul O'Neill homers 3 times. The last off now Yankee bullpen coach Mike Harkey. And he has 8 RBIs as the Yankees rout the Angels 11-6. I wonder if he was happy after that. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. Let's take a look at that day.
I'm going to say no, he wasn't happy. Something had to go wrong in that game. He maybe grounded out or something else. Some great swings, though, Big O'Neill.
Look how different. I mean, it's empty seats. That was 95, and it all started to change in 96.
Can't believe we did that to Mike Harkey right there, showing that replay.
So Suzuki takes a pitch. 1-0.
We're going to do it again in slow motion. This is unbelievable. Like a split finger.
Wasn't me, Mike. The 1-0. Driven to center field deep. Granderson back. He runs it down on the warning track. Tagging is Pennington. He'll score. Crisp moves to third. It's a sac fly for Suzuki. And the A's are on the board. Yankees now lead 3-1.
Phil Hughes will take that behind in the count. This whole inning gets behind to Suzuki, and he drills it to center field, but you trade that sac fly for a run. 2 outs now. Try to work your way out of here with just that 1 run.
Johnny talked about it earlier. 3-run lead coming into this inning right here. You figured he'd attack the zone, get some more quick outs, and he just kept falling behind. We saw last night Javier Vazquez with a big lead. Just attacked the zone with fastballs, got the hitters to get themselves out, and had some pretty quick innings.
Here's Jack Cust. Pitch outside, 1-0.
You know, you see that fastball right there. He's not missing by much. It's not like he has no idea where the baseball is going. Just maybe being a little bit too fine early in the count. Cut that plate in half and pitch to halves, and then if you get ahead, you go for the corners.
Got the breaking ball in there for a strike. Cust can hit the ball out. Not that time. Ground ball to second. Cano flips the cheater, and that'll do it. So he survives the 2 walks for the most part. He is angry with himself as he allowed 1 run, and the A's strand 2. in theaters September 10th. By Hager, established 1926. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. And by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. Well, we go to the bottom of the third inning as the Yankees lead 3-1. Some of the souvenirs on sale here at the stadium. As Derek Jeter will dig in. He is coming to bat for the first official time. He walked his first plate appearance. Foul back. Jeter walked, stole a base, and scored in the first inning. And he has 92 runs scored, so he's on pace for another 100-run scored game, or 100 scored season. Count 1-1.
John, we talked about him struggling last night a little bit. Talking about him staying back, trying to get that ball deeper and go to right field. He's about a couple balls off his first couple of bats here. He seemed to stay back a little longer and have some pretty good swings at him.
And we saw him last night roll over a couple of pitches, which is very unusual for Derek. But even there, like going out to get it a little bit more than we're used to seeing, right?
I just think when you're struggling like he is, and two or whatever, you just get a little over anxious, and you just kind of tend to chase balls and uncharacteristically go out of the zone like he's doing. You know, when you're going well, you're swinging good, you're feeling good at the plate, you don't chase any pitches, and I just think that's just a matter of a little bit of over anxiousness on his part right now, trying to get going.
Soft ground ball is short. Pennington gets Jeter for the first out.
Bad place to be. I've been there pretty much my whole career. You're ahead of the off-speed pitch, late on the fastball.
Very unusual territory for Derek. 2 for his last 28. Here's Mark Teixeira. Got plunked his first time up. Count 0-2. Some Teixeira fans down the left field line.
Teixeira looks like he's settling down a little bit. The rhythm much better second in and into the third inning here. After a shaky first inning, looks like he's getting back on track.
Popped up and out of play. Teixeira, 9 home runs in his last 17 games here at the stadium. Leads the majors with 98 runs scored. Pitch outside. And the Yankee offense should get a little better. They're expecting Alex Rodriguez back on Sunday after his DL stint. That bad calf, the 2-2. 3-2. And tomorrow they're going to get back Lance Berkman. And Andy Pettit's next bullpen is tomorrow. Line drive, base hit. Teixeira is locked in. Tonight after the postgame, football finally returns to Yes with the upcoming premiere of This Week in Football, presented by Geico. The gang looks ahead to the Jets and the Giants' first regular season games, including an interview with Jets head coach Rex Ryan. This Week in Football premieres tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. John, I know you're a big Jet fan, and interviewed Mark Sanchez, their quarterback, today. I said, grade yourself on your preseason. He said, I give myself anywhere from a B- to a B+. Do you agree?
It's preseason.
He still has to do stuff. I mean, he's a work in progress.
Let's put it this way. I'm very happy with the New York Jet quarterback. I heard the next preseason game he's actually going to be calling the plays.
Yes.
A little different perspective. Looking forward to that Monday night opener.
1-0. Foul back.
New stadium. We got high hopes, Tino.
Well, the expectations are definitely there.
How are the Buccaneers looking this year?
Not too good. Not too good. But the expectations are not there. I love Rex Ryan. I think he's done a great job. But boy, he sure put a lot of pressure on that team going into this season. And I like Mark Sanchez too. But wow, those guys are going to have a target on their back.
1-1. Rex Ryan is going to actually be interviewed in that This Week in Football episode coming up. Now, John, you and I have to go down to Tampa during the winter because Tino has a luxury box, season luxury box.
Is that right?
For the Buccaneers. Oh, yeah.
It's not a luxury box. It's
what is it?
It's just good seats. Comfortable seats.
Is it covered?
Of course it's covered.
It's a luxury box.
It rains and it's hot.
The 1-2. Foul back. Is there a refrigerator in there?
A couple of real cold ones.
Yeah. That sounds like a luxury box to me.
Yeah.
So you pick the day, John. We'll head down.
Hey, you're more than welcome.
You see, if Tino came to a Jet game, he'd be highly disappointed because the Flaherty seats are not in a luxury box.
But you know what? To come to a football game in New York in the cold weather, that's what I look forward to being down in Florida. I'm sure up here it's cold and they think about the sunshine in November, December. When we think about football, my buddies and I, we want to go up north to a game where it's cold and the weather's terrible and feel what that's really like.
Come on up to the new Meadowlands and sit up in the upper deck. You'll get a good feel for it.
It's not covered?
Not covered.
I can grind it out, though. I'm a grinder.
The 2-2. High. Papa. Shallow right. Ellis. For the second out.
Kind of year that Robinson Cano has had. When he gets pitches right down the middle, he's not used to popping them up, and you can see the look of frustration.
So Robbie tonight is 0 for 2, a double play and a pop to second. Here's Nick Swisher. Count 1-0. Swisher reached on an E4, kind of opened the gates for 2 more runs to the Yankees. That would have been the final out, and they would have scored just 1 run. So of their 3 runs in the first inning, 2 were unearned. Now, this is a big day in baseball because it's August 31st, last day of the month, and if there's going to be a waiver claim or some kind of trade, it has to be done before midnight tonight in order for that player to be on the postseason roster. You can get a player in September, but he's not going to play in the postseason. So there are some rumors out there. The Texas Rangers might be eyeing Jeff Francoeur of the Mets. Aroldis Chapman, who throws 105 miles an hour, was called up from AAA for the Reds. Manny Del Carmen got traded from the Red Sox to the Rockies, and Manny Ramirez is with the White Sox. He's not in the lineup tonight. High drive, right field. Davis back. He's on the track. Looking up. See ya! A home run into the second deck for Nick Swisher. A 2-run shot. And the Yankees lead 5-1.
Nice job of hitting right here by Nick Swisher. Joe Girardi giving him the green light. The 3-0 count. Anytime you get a 3-0 count, green light, you look for a good ball to hit. And it gets him right here, middle of the plate. Good aggressive swing and great results. Home run, great at bat by Nick Swisher.
That was some shot. Joe has given Swisher the green light 6 times this year, and he is 5 for 6 when putting 3-0 pitches into play. And he now has 80 runs batted in.
You got to be some kind of discipline to hit 3-0 and have that kind of result with 5 for 6. I don't know about you, Tino. I hated hitting 3-0 because I tried to do too much. Usually swing at a pitch off the plate.
Joe Torre used to give it to us a lot. Not so much a green light, just you're on your own type deal. And I'm sure Joe Girardi's done the same thing with quite a few hitters here. And the way to approach it is it depends who's pitching, how you feel against that guy. If he's got a nasty sinker or a good curveball and you're uncomfortable, I'm automatically taken. But if it's a guy who I know may just come in there and groove me one, I'm ready to hit one.
Grounded right to first. Barton will beat Posada to the bag. How about this stat? Swisher had only put 3-0 pitches in play twice in his career before this year. This was the 5th one this season. A 2-run home. Quiz. The Yankees are now 146 at the new stadium. Who are the only 3 American League teams in history to win 100 games faster in a home ballpark? We'll find that out in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Kuzminov. And there's a strike. 5-1 Yankees after Swisher's long, towering home run to right field, a 2-run shot in the 3rd. The 0-1. Base hit to center field. There's Brooke Lopez with the backwards cap of the New Jersey Nets. Is that a Twins cap? There's some rumors about Brooke Lopez, the Denver Nuggets, in discussions about dealing Carmelo Anthony, insisting on Brooke Lopez, and the Nets are resisting that. Lopez, one of the true, legitimate centers in the NBA.
So this is what you get, Tino, when you deal with a guy who has his own radio show, knows it all. Nets, Knicks, Giants, Jets, Rangers, Islanders, Devils.
It's unbelievable. I mean, on the way to the ballpark today, I'm listening to him on the ESPN radio, talking about every single sport there is out there. I mean, you can bring that to the broadcast here. You're a well-rounded guy, Michael.
Thank you so much. I'm trying to lose some weight. And the Nets will open on October 27th.
So he even knows the schedule. It's incredible.
Tino, thank you for listening to 1050 ESPN Radio between 3 and 7. We appreciate it.
I'm trying to be aware of what's going on out there, and who better to get my information from?
I'll go on.
That's all I got.
No, really, go on. Runner at first, nobody out. Mark Ellis at the plate. 0-2 count. And he slashes one to right field for a base hit. So in this inning, Hughes is not walking people, but he's having them turn around fastballs. So now successive singles, first and second, nobody out.
And an 0-2 count, he tries to go with a fastball. It's up and away, and Ellis does a nice job just going the other way. Shooting that hole between first and second. It's just going to be one of those nights for Phil Hughes. It's not going to be easy. Good news, you have a 4-run lead here in the 4th inning. Find a way to grind it out, see if you can put yourself in line for a win.
Slash the other way.
I guess, Tino, from a hitting perspective, this would go down as one of those times where it's, it's a lot of work. You don't feel good at the plate. You're not getting hits. Kind of like what Phil Hughes is going through his last outing in Toronto and then here tonight.
Yeah, we talked about it last night on the telecast, about David Cone. He didn't have anything, and he found ways to get to the 6th or 7th inning. That's what Phil Hughes has to be thinking right now. He knows he probably doesn't have his best stuff tonight. Try to get a double play ball right here. Just keep the guys in the game. Try to get to that 6th, 7th inning. Save your bullpen, but yet find a way to hold that lead.
The 0-1 popped up and out of play.
Incredible, though. Just like the Toronto game where he'd get 2 strikes on a lot of batters, couldn't put him away. 6 batters tonight. He's gotten 2 strikes on. 4 of them have reached base. Here, another 0-2 count on Larish. See what happens.
70 pitches. We're in the 4th. Nobody out. First and second. And the 0-2. Strike 3 right down the middle. Don't know what Larish was looking at. Or 4, and he goes down, gazing.
Good fastball right here. A little tail on it, right on the outer half, knee high. Good location. Tough ball for Larish to handle. Phil's done a good job starting a few hitters off here with a curveball. Kind of a get me over curveball. You see fastball right on the outer half right there. Probably looking for something on the inner half. If you get me over curveball, you saw Larish foul it back. It wasn't a great pitch, but it's a tough ball to hit 0-0.
There's Rajay Davis, pitch outside. John, we talked about how you didn't like, Chad Godin starting to get ready, you didn't like 3-0 green lights. Tino hit 3 home runs on 3-0 counts. Now, when you got the green light on 3-0 as the ball gets past Posada, were you looking to hit a home run?
I was looking for something. Maybe if I was in Yankee Stadium, I wanted something on the inner half that I could really turn on if I have a chance to maybe get a cheap home run over that 314 sign. And it goes back to when I came up with the Seattle Mariners and Lou Piniella was my manager. He would always tell us, when I give you the 3-0 count, I'm not looking for a single up the middle. I want you to give me a good aggressive hack, try to do some damage. If you swing and miss, I don't have a problem with that. So I'd always look for location more than anything. A ball in the inner half that I could yank. I may have hit a home run here and there, and I probably yanked 4, 5, 6 of them foul.
There's a strike. Runners moved up on the wild pitch.
But if it was someone I had trouble with, like say a Kevin Brown or somebody who had a good sinker, I'm definitely taking him on a 3-0 pitch no matter what.
That's going to get a run in. Soft ground ball to second with the infield back. Scoring is Kuzminov. So an RBI for Rajay Davis. It's now 5-2 Yanks.
Well, the wild pitch costs Phil Hughes a run. I mean, you weren't going to double up Davis anyway. He runs too well. Again, if you're Phil Hughes, you're just looking for outs at this point. You'll trade that run for an out. And again, another 2-out situation, trying to get Pennington and get out of this inning just with the 1 run.
Bottom of the 5th, the Rays have taken a 3-1 lead, and the Red Sox trying to catch up on the Orioles 3-2. Here's Cliff Pennington. Remember, our late colleague Bobby Mercer said he never liked to swing on 3-0. He said because you would get the same pitch on 3-1. He said 3-0, you just felt that you had to hit a home run. Now we find out that you had a home run on a 3-0 pitch, John. You were 1 for 4 hitting with 3-0.
Well, 250, right on my career average with some power. I'll take that. 250 with some production, Tino.
All or nothing.
That's right.
That's what you do 3-0.
You don't want a base hit to right field. You want a deep fly ball. Do some damage.
2-0. Isn't it amazing? I mean, we're giving these stats that these stats are available. The amount of hits you had on 3-0.
It is amazing to me because I can tell you right now, I had 3 home runs on 3. I had no idea how many home runs I had or what my batting average may be on 3-0.
Here's 3-0, and Pennington taking, and he takes a ball, and another walk issued by Phil Hughes. That's his 5th in 3 2/3 innings.
And you see the frustration. Chad Godin looks like he's pretty much ready to go. You would think Joe Girardi would give his young right-hander a chance to work through some of the troubles, but it looks like his patience wearing thin in the dugout.
This will be the 80th pitch of the night for Hughes. And here's Coco Crisp with runners on the corners. So Crisp is the tying run. Count 1-0. John, what you said earlier, so he's not missing by a lot.
No, he's not. He's missing down. He's missing just off. I mean, you could probably count 4 or 5 fastballs where he's worked underneath and they've ended up and into a righty. Just a little bit too fine, I think, especially early in the count.
The 1-0. There's a strike.
Thing is, his velocity is still there, throwing 92, 93 miles an hour, so it's not a matter of him being tired.
Phil has walked 10 over his last 2 starts. He had walked 9 total over his previous 8 starts. So something has gone awry. Count 2-1.
Again, a dangerous count, 2-1. Coco Crisp, not a guy known as a home run hitter. He has 6 on the year. You put major league hitters in hitters' counts, they become very dangerous.
Now he's in an even better hitter's count at 3-1.
It looked like Phil maybe thought he should have got this call, and it's tough when you're a home plate umpire and you have a pitcher's walk 5. You know, you're not going to give him that borderline pitch. Doug Eddings has done a pretty good job behind the plate early on tonight.
Ellis at third. Pennington is at first. Pennington goes. The 3-1 is popped up. Jeter was covering second, now backpedals, and on the outfield grass, he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. But they get a run on 2 hits and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. quit line quiz. The question, the Yankees are now 146 at the new stadium. Who are the only 3 American League teams in history to win 100 games faster in a home ballpark? Tim swings and misses. Let's take a look. The Indians in Jacobs Field, the Philadelphia A's in Columbia Park, and the White Sox in the Southside Park. Indians used to be tough at Jacobs Field.
Yes, they were. When that stadium first opened up and they had all those all-star players. It's a tough place to go. They had sold-out crowds year in, year out. They played some good, aggressive baseball.
Manny Ramirez, Carlos Baerga, Alomar Vizquel, Alomar, Tomei,
Kenny Lofton,
Albert Bell.
As Thames goes down looking. So he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Mazzaro trying to settle down, gave up 3 runs in the first and then 2 in the third. Here's Curtis Granderson, struck out looking in the second inning. Count 1-0. First 13 games since August 12th, 326. Last 5, 105. So the initial results of the Kevin Long tutorial, excellent, but of late, a little bit of a downturn. Count 3-1.
It's going to happen, though. I mean, that's, the flow of the season. You're going to get hot for 10 games and then maybe not swing it too good for 5. You try to get back on track.
That one's driven deep to right field. Davis back on the track at the wall, looking up. See ya! Home run, Curtis Granderson. Yankees lead 6-2. 1 for 17 before that swing, and he made that one count.
Last night, Curtis Granderson had a swing where he drove a ball deep to left center. That might have been a sign of things to come. So he gets a fastball pretty much right down the middle, holds on to the bat with 2 hands, good extension. Great carry on this ball, home run number 15.
Second home run of the night for the Yanks. Ramiro Pena grounds it up the middle. Grabbed by Pennington. He does a 360 and fires it wide. We'll see how they score that. Good backup there by Suzuki.
Pennington has some range going up the middle and a strong throwing arm. I guess this makes you take Derek Jeter a little bit for granted, going up the middle and the spin, and the throw always seems to be right on the money. This gets away from Pennington, not even close. It'll be an infield hit for Ramiro Pena. Strong throw, just a little wide.
So it is an infield single. And back to the top of the order, and Brett Gardner. Mazzaro has allowed 2 home runs in the last 2 innings. He had allowed 2 over his last 5 starts combined. Shows bunt takes high. Hey, want to send out congratulations to the Yankees AAA farm team. Scranton Wilkes-Barre, they won their 5th consecutive division title on Sunday, and that is a new International League record. And they have some all-stars on that team. The shortstop, Eduardo Nunez, made the International League All-Star team. Jesus Montero, the catcher, also made it, and the relief pitcher, who really had a tremendous year, is Jonathan Albaladeo, closing for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees. Albaladeo had 43 saves.
They're obviously going to go to postseason play. It's September 1st tomorrow, so you can expand the rosters. Be interesting to see if there's some new faces here tomorrow.
I got to guess there will be. I don't know, what Joe Girardi and General Manager Brian Cashman have in mind, but I got to believe you have a guy like Jesus Montero, Jonathan Abladejo. I mean, obviously, can help out in the bullpen. You get a stretch of 5 straight day games. You're going to need to give some guys days off and have some players available for you.
A fine line, though. Your AAA team is going to the postseason. Do you take their best players away to help the big league club?
Runner goes, and the pitch is outside as Gardner walks.
Obviously, winning games here in the pennant race is the most important thing.
Yes. Yes.
Kurt Young will go out and talk with Mazzaro. I talked with Joe Girardi on the WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show. Sometimes it seems unfair because there are a lot of teams that call up 15 guys and they have a bench loaded, and all of a sudden they have 6 left-handers in their bullpen, and you can't manage down the stretch when those games are important to you. And Joe had a great idea. He said, I don't think that you should disallow call-ups. He said, but what you should do is you should always have to submit a 25-man roster before the game, almost like have a taxi squad. He said, so you can mix and match the way you want. He said, but to have everybody available, it's kind of tough to manage against that kind of team.
And you might also want to have, if your team, your AAA team makes the playoffs, maybe have a different rule there where you might give them an extra, week where they'd still be eligible to come up and help your ball club in the postseason if you need that certain player.
So Booth Bonds are warming up. Here's Derek Jeter, first and second with 1 out. Jeter serves one to right field, coming on Davis. He'll make the play as the runners retreat. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
One of the things the Yankees have prided themselves on over the last 10, 15 years is winning titles in the minor leagues, and breeding that winning attitude amongst the players. And I remember coming up with the Seattle Mariners and the minor league teams I played on. When we played the Albany Yankees or AA teams here and there, they were always winning titles, and it just seemed to carry over to the big league level. When they got here, they're expected to win, and it all starts in the minor leagues and building a great system, which they've done.
And there are ways to use your minor leagues if you don't call players up. I mean, that's how you make deals, too. Having desirable minor league players that you can include to get that one piece that could put you over the top.
Good job by manager Dave Miley in the minor leagues. Scranton, pitching coach Scott Aldred doing a good job down there. And 5 in a row, that's incredible.
One. 2-1. Eduardo Nunez down there hit 289. And Montero started off slowly, if you remember. He hit 284 with 18 homers and 66 ribbies. Chasing Pena back. We told you that Abladejo had 43 saves. He had a 1.42 ERA with a 4-2 record.
It's going to be hard not to call him up.
Remember in spring training, too, Abladejo had a terrible spring. Couldn't get anybody out, and then he rebounds and has a big year.
2-1. Strike. Also, AA Trent also is heading to the playoffs. So your 2 top farm teams are going to the postseason. The 2-2. Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A 3-run home run off the bat of Teixeira. He's red hot. And the Yankees lead 9-2.
A couple of real good at-bats here by Mark Teixeira. Fouling off pitches. Battling until he gets something he can handle. Last at-bat had a nice single. This at-bat fouling pitches off. He gets the ball right here. belt high, right where he likes it, and puts a great swing on it. You knew from the get-go that it was gone.
30th home run of the year, his 10th home run in his last 18 games here at the stadium. This was a no doubt about it into the second deck. And the guy wearing a Tino Martinez jersey made the catch. Or is that a Robinson Cano jersey? I don't know.
I'm going with the Robinson Cano.
I'm going with Tino. He's got a 61 hat on, so he's an old school fan, and he appreciates the Tino way. Pitch outside. So for Mark Teixeira now, 7 straight years of 30 or more home runs. And Cano walks. Mazzaro is struggling. And that's going to do it as Bob Guerin comes out of the dugout, and the A's manager will signal to the bullpen. So with the home run by Teixeira, he becomes the 6th Yankee all-time to home run at least 30 times in each of the first 2 seasons with the team. We'll be back. Returns to Yes with another season of Notre Dame football. The Fighting Irish kick off their 2010 campaign at home against Purdue. And Yes will have a replay of Saturday's action from South Bend. Purdue versus Notre Dame Sunday at 6. Right here on Yes. Love that song. Time for the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT Rethink Possible. And Boof Boncher comes on, and he is on in relief of Vin Mazzaro. I remember Boof from his years with the Minnesota Twins. This will be his 6th game with the A's, 9 innings and 17 hits. That doesn't look that great. Mazzaro allowed 9 runs, and that's a career high for him. And that'll bring up Nick Swisher with a runner on and 2 outs. Swisher with a home run his last time up. Boncher deals. We told you that Teixeira is now one of 6 players in Yankee history to have 30 or more home runs in the first 2 years with the Yanks. The other ones, Babe Ruth, Alex Rodriguez, Roger Maris, Jason Giambi, and Gary Sheffield. The 0-1. Grounded up the middle. Ellis is there, backhands, and goes the short way to get the final out. But the Yankees get 4 runs on 3 hits. No 2 behind Phil Hughes, and Phil Hughes has a high pitch count, but he wants to get through this inning to get himself a 16 victory. And he deals high to Derek Barton, 1-0.
And the Yankees have been hinting down the stretch that they'd like to get some games like this with Phil Hughes, a big lead after 5 innings, maybe get him out of the game. But you're right, Michael, got to get 3 outs here, get yourself in line for a win, and the pitch count up at 86 now.
Barton, Suzuki, and Cust. There's a strike.
Ideally, you'd like to get him out of the game, quickly here the next inning or two, but obviously you want to see better results. You want to see better control with all of his pitches, so when you do get him out of the game, at least you have some kind of positive to reflect on, not just him himself, but also the manager and the pitching coach Dave Island have a great idea that he's under control again.
Two, fouled away. Despite having a 7-run lead, the leash is very short on Hughes this inning. There's a pitcher up in the bullpen, and I think Joe Girardi would quickly go there if he walks a couple of people, even though he's got a win staring right in front of him. Popped up. Teixeira for the first out. All right, it's time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question, what was your favorite Tino Martinez playoff moment? You've been texting us at 58772. Here's how you voted. Wow, 2-1, the 2001 World Series home run. Now, here's why I would debate that, Tino. You won 98, you didn't win 01. Which one meant more to you?
Well, I think winning obviously means everything, but the one in 2001, we were down two runs the 9th inning. It was during 9/11. A lot of emotions there, to tie the game up in the 9th inning with 2 outs, and to hear that crowd just go crazy and just feel good for a few hours. And although we lost that World Series, it was a great moment, I think, for the fans and myself as well.
The base hit to right field off the bat of Suzuki. Now I'm going to tell you why the 98 one was my favorite Tino Martinez one. Because if you remember, you had struggled some in the postseason. And then that grand slam off Mark Langston, it was almost like a weight was lifted off your shoulders, and you became a much better postseason player.
It sure felt that way. I definitely was struggling. The year 96, I struggled the World Series, and fortunately got back there in 98 and struggled in that postseason. And to get a grand slam, it helped me relax and really get going. And I wound up having a really good World Series. But just the opportunity to play in World Series in Yankee Stadium, hit home runs, win championships, it was just something you just can't, fathom. It's an unbelievable feeling. And I love playing here.
The 1-0. High pop-up. Left center. Gardner makes the play and uses 1 out away from possibly getting a win. 11-3. Toronto has come all the way back, and Toronto's going to have a big say in this race. They play the Yankees, they play the Red Sox, and the Rays, and the Orioles will also have a say, and they lead Boston 3-2.
I'm telling you, that Blue Jay rotation, it's young. They got some good arms, and they're going to be a dangerous team down the stretch. And obviously, with all the power that they have.
There's Kevin Kuzminoff. Toronto's coming in this weekend, and the Orioles after that. Kuzminoff fouls it away. And you know that Showalter is trying to build something in Baltimore. He wants to get involved in the pennant race in that way and get his young players into big games and have them succeed. So they're not going to play like a 30-game under 500 team.
You know what? I've been on some bad teams. You look forward to coming into Yankee Stadium. You have the adrenaline, the crowd, everybody's into it. You can play the role of spoiler if you have a good weekend or a good series.
The 0-1. Just missed.
And on the other hand, being on a Yankee team with a lead in first place, a few games, those are the teams you feared coming in. The ones that were playing for nothing, they were just going out there relaxed, you know, swinging hard, just having fun playing baseball. Down the stretch, those are the toughest teams to beat in September. They have nothing to lose.
1-1. 2-1. Closing in on 100 pitches, and again, he's averaging lately about 20 pitches per inning, and that's why you're not going to get length out of him, because the Yankees refuse to push him that much over 100. He's too valuable now and in the future. The 2-1. There's a fly ball to right. Well, he's going to get credit for the victory if the Yankees win this game. He's got 5 in the books. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're halfway through. Yankees. Music and computer world, and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 9-2 Yanks.
It's Phil Hughes coming off the field and giving his teammates a little thanks for picking me up. Looks like Phil Hughes' night's going to be over, and he realized he didn't have a whole lot, but his teammates picked him up, scoring 9 runs through 5. Love that right there, Tino.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, you know, you can read his lips there saying, "My bad, guys, my bad." You know, thank you for the runs, but you know, it was one of those situations. He was up to almost 100 pitches just about, and he grinded it out. We talked about grinding it out. Hey, at least get to the 5th inning, maybe the 6th, and you know, save your bullpen a little bit. So, you know, good effort on his part. Although he didn't have great stuff tonight.
You kind of expect that from a veteran pitcher, a young guy like Phil Hughes. That shows me something.
Bonser deals inside, count 1-1 to Posada.
The only positive thing I saw tonight, as well as him grinding it out, was his velocity. His velocity was there from the first pitch to the last pitch, staying between 92 and 93 miles an hour. And I think Dave Iden, pitching coach Dave Iden, will find the flaw and continue to find his rhythm again.
You know, but we talked before the game, and in your scouting report, mix it up and throw some. He threw some more curveballs, threw maybe 6 or 7 changeups tonight. So I think that was an improvement.
Pretty good changeups too.
Yeah,
pretty good changeups, and you know, first pitch curveballs for strikes. I just think his fastball, he's got such good control that he's just probably off on his mechanics of hair.
Slice foul. Nine, 7-0 Yanks. 2-4-1 for the A's. Yankees looking for their 82nd win and a high watermark of 32 games over 500. Missed outside. Last night, tonight, not too good for the A's starters. They have allowed 8 or more runs in back-to-back starts for the first time since May of 2006. 3-2. And Posada works a walk.
And going back to the open, we talked about Vin Mazzaro having to keep the ball down if he's going to have any success against this Yankee lineup. And, you know, the Granderson homer, the Swish homer, the Tex homer, those balls are up in the zone, belt high, and these Yankee hitters are on fire right now. They're patient, and they're waiting for good balls to hit. And he just didn't execute his pitches throughout the evening either.
Here's Marcus Thames. Pitch outside.
Marcus happy that Mazzaro's out of the game. Couple of strikeouts and not look comfortable, like he was picking the ball out of his hand.
Breaking ball.
A lot's been made of Marcus Thames lately, hitting all these home runs in consecutive starts. I was driving home last night. I heard Tino Martinez, the last Yankee to get on one of those runs in 05. Remember, I had a good seat in the dugout watching that run. Red hot Tino Martinez.
Yeah, you know, I got a few starts there early in the season. Jason Giambi came out struggling a little bit, and you know, I just caught fire. It just seemed like everything he threw up there. You know, I was comfortable seeing the ball well, and I was just hitting him out of the ballpark. And it's one of those runs you wish you could just bottle up for the entire season.
High drive and out of play.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too, to take it a step further. I mean, you mentioned Jason Giambi, and you knew you were going to be a backup guy, and Marcus kind of the same situation. When you get the opportunities, you got to take advantage of it. So maybe it just locks you in a little bit more at the plate.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's no pressure on Marcus. He's done a great job. At this point in the season, when you need guys to step up and really carry you in those week or two that you have A-Rod on the DL, your offense may be struggling, which they all seem to have caught fire. You need that one guy who can just carry you a little bit, and he's done his part.
Tino had 10 home runs in a 12-game stretch in May of 05. Just showing off. That's just showing off.
Then I got tired.
Well, I was just going to ask you, like Marcus strikes out his first 2 times tonight, do you start thinking, well, all right, it was a good run, it's over?
I don't think so. I think he struck out a few times throughout this last 6-7 games, and he's chased a few bad pitches tonight, sliders down in the dirt, but I don't think so. I think he's feeling really good.
Let's see how they went at Marcus Thames. A pitch-by-pitch is brought to you by Suzuki Kazashi.
Check out Bonser, how he attacks. First pitch fastball misses off the plate. A little curveball for strike 1. Then he goes with the slider down, then misses. Another slider that backs up, and Marcus pulls it foul. Fastball, good pitch to hit, fouls it off. And a good curveball down and away for strike 3. A couple of pitches to do something with and fouled him off.
Granderson grounds one foul, grabbed there by Barton. (9-2) Yankees lead, looking for more against Boof Bonser. Salvador Rodriguez itching to get back in the lineup. Grounded to third. Nice grab there by Kuzmanov. He bobbles, but he gets the force.
Kuzmanov going to his left, has a little trouble with the transfer, a little bobble, but the flip to second base. Jorge Posada deciding not to slide. Right off the end of the bat for Curtis Granderson, looked like an off-speed pitch. Probably wouldn't have been able to turn the double play, but get the force out at second.
Going back to Marcus Timms, the point you made about him fouling a couple of balls back. Well, that's the key. When you're hot like that, you usually get that pitch to hit, and you drive him out of the ballpark. You know, Reggie Jackson, you used to always say when he's around here working with the hitters and whatnot, and, you know, Reggie has all those great sayings. He would say when you get that pitch to hit, you can't leave it on the back net. Don't leave it in the stands behind you. Leave it in the stands out in front of you. So I thought, I'm going to go with that theory.
High fly ball down the left field line. Laris gives it a look. Runs out of room. Pena's 1 for 2 today. Infield single. Up the middle. Grabbed by the shortstop. Couldn't make the play and then ended up scoring. Slowly, the average is inching up. 225. He's seeing a lot of playing time with the injury to Rodriguez. Splitting time at third between Nunez and himself. The 0-2. Strike 3. Pena down looking. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. 5 in the books to laugh about for the Yankees. They're up. Of DKNY. This back-to-school ticket special presented by DKNY is for a limited time only, and tickets are subject to availability. Tickets are available at Yankees.com, all Ticketmaster outlets, and the Yankee Stadium ticket office. New pitcher for the Yankees is Chad Godin, as the Yankees are leading 9-2, 9-7-0, leading 2-4-1. Like that lid. Has not been a picture-perfect game by any stretch, but for the Yankees, they'll take it. They're up 9-2. And Godin deals to Ellis a strike as we start the 6th inning. These are the numbers on Godin. 5.98 ERA. Comes in and throws strikes. And the Yankees have really benefited from having Godin out there, having Vasquez out there, having Mitre out there. So when they're getting short starts, they're not burning out several people in the bullpen. it's a little bit excessive to have 3 long men in your bullpen, but the Yankees have it, and it's paid off. And the guys on the back end are doing their job enough that they're not missing the fact that they don't have as many short men as other teams. Robertson, Jabba, Kerry Wood, Boone Logan, and of course Rivera. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Ellis down on strikes. Well, that puts more pressure on the next starter to give them length. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers. Brought to you by Fios TV, Internet, and Phone. It's time for Fios. Brett Anderson will go for the A's, 3-5, 3.32. And A.J. Burnett trying to figure it out for the Yankees, 9-12, 5.17. Our coverage begins at 6 with the BP show. 6:30 is the pregame show. And 7:08 will be the first pitch. There are 2 of the longer guys out there, Mitre and Vasquez. Vasquez picked up the win yesterday, his 10th of the year, 2nd in relief. Larish swings at the first pitch and drives it to deep left. Gardner on the track makes the play for the second out.
Well, Michael, you mentioned these long relievers, usually in a game like this, up or down by 6, 7 runs. Not the easiest thing to do to come out of the pen. All the pressure is on you to throw strikes. Don't walk anybody. Sounds easy, not as easy as it sounds. Javi Vasquez with that great relief appearance last night. I really didn't hear any talk about him moving into the rotation. Joe Girardi pretty tight-lipped. Got to believe he's opened up some eyes.
There's a strike from Godin. Godin knows this team. He started the season with the A's, but didn't pitch well at all. 12 games, 0-2, 8.83. Actually was in spring training with the Yankees, one of the guys battling for that 5th starter role. Didn't make it. A's signed him because they were familiar with him, but he did not pitch well. The 0-2. 1-2.
Life on the fastball, 93. We're used to seeing Chad Godin about 90, 91, but recently he's had a better fastball.
Good sinking action on it. Just bearing it down in on those right-handed hitters. It seems like these bullpen guys, like, the starters will set the tone. CC Sabathia, you want to follow suit and have a good outing.
There's a ground ball to third, Pena, and that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Godin. The end of 5.5. Yankees lead 9-2. Time now. With batting practice today, presented by Audi, followed by the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then I'm back in the booth with John Flaherty to bring you the call. A's Yankees tomorrow at 6, only on Yes. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Brett Gardner will lead off. Gardner is 1 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored. Also has a couple of stolen bases, so a good day for a leadoff guy. Yankees moved into first place on June 20th, and they've either been in first alone or had a share of that all this time. And their play at home has certainly been a big reason why. 43-22 at home, and that's the best record in the American League. Only 2 teams have a better home record, both in the National League. The Atlanta Braves are 47-18, which is extraordinary, and the Rockies are 43-21. There's a strike.
So Jason Hayward scored from first base yesterday on a single. Impressive.
I was going to say that. How about Bobby Cox last season? Braves playing great baseball, looking to get in the postseason.
Ball goes one way, back goes another. Looks like he got hit on that hand. Count 2-2. Rounded up the middle. Pennington does the 360, fires. This time he makes the play, and he does it very well for the first out of the 6th. Hayward, of course, for the Braves, they've got some triple crown candidates in the National League. Pujols leads in home runs and ribbies. Gonzalez in average. Joey Votto is close in all 3.
Joey Votto is fun to watch, boy. He hits the ball the other way with power, 32 home runs. The Cincinnati Reds, one of those teams you kind of felt like was going to fade as the summer has progressed. They're still there.
The Cardinals came into town a few weeks ago in Cincinnati and swept them. They knocked them out of first place, and ever since then it seems the Reds got hot and the Cardinals have struggled.
Ever since that brawl.
Yep.
Jeter is 0 for 2. 1 for 24, 2 for 29. Looking to snap out of this. And there's a ground ball to third. And his struggles continue. Tino, you know his psyche very well. Is it getting to him?
I'm sure he's frustrated. You know, he won't show it, and he never loses confidence. But you know, when you go in those slumps and you see that he's just tying himself up a little bit, it's going to frustrate him. And you know, he'll go home tonight and think about it a little bit.
Will he, like, when he's sitting on his couch, will he be thinking about it, or can he put it away?
I'm sure he puts it away if you're there hanging out with him or having dinner with him. But once he's by himself, I'm sure he'll think about his at-bats and try to figure out exactly what adjustment he has to make.
Here's Teixeira. 2 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. Pitch is inside.
And, knowing Derek as well, the wins help. When you struggle, I know I've struggled as a hitter, and when you're struggling, your team keeps winning, you feel better about it because eventually you're going to get going and do your part. But in the meantime, you want the team to keep putting up the W's and not make it so much that you're not hitting and just hold on, wait for me, guys. I'm going to get hot, and I am going to do my part soon here.
Wolf Bonser on in relief of Vin Mazzaro. That one is driven out to deep left center field. But Laris is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning as Bonser has restored. back. Phil Hughes will be eligible for the win with 5 innings, 5 walks. Teixeira, another big night. Swisher, another home run, 2 ribbies, and 2 runs scored. We go to the 7th inning. Cliff Pennington. And Godin working quickly, throwing strikes. Count 0-1. Count 1-1 on the Verizon Wireless scoreboard, 9-2.
I started to say earlier about the starting pitching. When CC Sabathia goes out there and has a very good outing, the next starter wants to come in and do the same thing. And same thing in the bullpen. Last night, Javier Vasquez comes in, throws strikes, pitches his 5-6 innings, does a great job. And I'm sure Chad Gaudin was thinking the same thing. It's my turn to pick the team up. Let me save the bullpen and give him some innings. It becomes a competition down there.
There's a ground ball to second. Cano. Yesterday, Vasquez, with the innings in relief, picked up the win. You saw CC. He's going to pitch on Thursday in the afternoon against Dallas Braden. He of the get off my mound and also the perfect game.
We're not going to see a rematch of Alex Rodriguez against Braden. Sounds like Alex might not go on a rehab assignment. A little surprised by that.
It would be interesting, though, John. Where would he go? I mean, he'd have to go into a playoff situation, wouldn't he, in the minor leagues?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't take away some at-bats from the kids that are there.
I guess he could go down to Tampa now.
Wait a second. So you wouldn't want Alex Rodriguez hitting in your lineup in a AAA playoff situation?
That one is drilled to right field. Swisher is there. 1 away, or 2 away. I guess I know I would, but would the Yankees want that and take away at bats from these young kids that are trying to? I guess they would, but I just don't know if they're going to go that route.
You bring in a guy, Alex trying to find his timing and trying to find his swing. You don't know what you're going to get down there. But I think here at the big league level, we saw it last year when he came back from hip surgery. He hit the home run his first at bat. He's one of those guys that he'll be ready to go as soon as he comes off the DL.
I guess I wouldn't worry about his swing or the timing. I worry more about him coming out of the box or maybe going side to side.
Derek Barton drills one deep to right field. See ya. Solo home run. And the Yankee lead is now 9-3. Eighth home run of the year came on a first pitch offering from Godin.
This won't bother Dave Island or Joe Girardi. He's coming in there throwing strikes. You're going to give up a solo home run. No big deal. Now it's 9-3. Rather, Chad Godin coming in there and forcing contact. Barton took advantage of it. Now you get back to work.
Here's Suzuki. And there's a strike. Swing and a miss.
2 good curveballs right there from Chad Gaudin. After giving up the home run on the fastball. All right, you guys will jump on my first pitch here. I'm going to start pitching again here and keep my team right where it needs to be.
Popped up and out of play. When Godin was with the A's early in the season, on April 20th, he got his World Series ring, as did Eduardo Ramirez. Yankees brought the rings out there. And now he's back with the Yankees and probably feels a little more comfortable wearing that ring.
And clean shaven.
And the 0-2 to Suzuki. Swung on and missed. He got him. But the A's get a run on the home run by Barton. No errors and nobody left. Did he say bing?
He just dropped a bing on us.
He said a bing.
Like it.
Wow.
Nice call, Bob Lorenz. Bob, back to work.
Also nice. He must be well rested. Bing. If a Yankee hits a home run next to it, should I throw a bing in there?
You can't do that. I mean, your call is a see ya.
Maybe a bing see ya. Verizon Wireless scoreboard. Yankees lead the A's 9-3. New catcher is Landon Powell. And the new shortstop is Steve Tollison. Tollison's going to bat third. Powell will bat ninth. And there's a base hit for Robinson Cano. Swisher swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. Pitch is high. The hit by Cano, the Yankees' 8th of the night, his first of the night. One thing I've always been amazed about with the Yankees, and it kind of started, I'd say, in '93 when Boggs was here, that no matter what the score is, they never change their approach and never just jump out of their shoes. Well, we got a big lead. They still work the count. Is it hard to have that kind of mindset?
Well, I don't think so. I think at this point in the season, you have a month left. You want to just keep what you're doing, just keep your mechanics together all the way throughout the rest of the season, going into the postseason. You don't want to change too much and try to hit home runs when you're just a line drive hitter.
So Nick Swisher down on strikes.
It's a difference, though, Michael. You know, not giving away a major league at bat. You see a good slider down and pretty much middle from Bonser. Good look at the swing on Yesmo. But, you know, those hitters that just don't give away at bats, you know, instead of going 1 for 4, they go 1 for 3 with a walk. I mean, at the end of the year, it's a big difference in your production.
Now, Tino says it matter-of-factly, but, I mean, there are teams that give away at bats if they're out of the game or even if they're leading by a lot. You see how they change things. But Posada puts a good swing on that one and lines it into right field for a base hit as Cano will move to third. So for Posada, it's his second hit in 3 at-bats. Hey, traveling this season, take the Yankees with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Now here's Marcus Thames. He's been red hot, and now he has a hat trick, which is not what he wants. He has struck out 3 times and certainly trying to avoid the golden sombrero.
Those 3 strikeouts. All have been on the breaking ball down and away, sliders, curveballs.
Popped up. Landon Powell tosses away the mask and makes the play for the second out. And tries to double up Posada with a throw with Ellis backing in there. But Posada gets back.
Not quite sure what Jorge Posada was doing. A little fake of a tag. Almost got doubled up.
He's just playing the game. He's might have been out. Yeah, he might have been out there. Yeah. Every now and then you lose a little focus.
He's aggressive on the base paths tonight early on, right? Stretching a double into a triple. Now thinking about getting into scoring position. Easy, Jorge.
Check swing, but Granderson goes around.
Late in the season when it gets like this too, Michael, as far as giving away at bats goes, you had Nick Swisher up there hitting 298. You know, he wants to hit 300 for the year. It sort of becomes an individual type thing, and you're just trying to chase individual goals little by little if you can in situations like this.
That one gets past Powell, but they say that Granderson fouled it off. So Cano had raced home, but he's going to go back to third. Little cricket move there.
Good call by Doug Eddings, home plate umpire. Bounce. I guess we got to give Eddings a little bit of credit. We really have not talked about him at all tonight with balls and strikes. Usually a good sign for an umpire.
Here's a Coors Light freeze cam. You can see the bat is on the ball, so it was a good call by Eddings.
Looks like a strike right down the middle right there. Doesn't it?
The 0-2.
But he has been good, both sides. Both guys with sinker balls and curveballs, change-ups he's been right on tonight, and giving both sides a fair shake.
The 0-2. Inside. I want to get a chance to say hello and send out best wishes from all of us here. Yes, to Polly Tompkins, last year's honorary Batgirl. She's feeling a little under the weather, so we want you to hang in there and get back to the stadium as soon as you can, Polly. Sweet, sweet lady. And we send our love. The 1-2. Foul back. (9-3) Yankees lead. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss. And that will do it. So Bullpen has done a nice job in relief. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Let's go to the 8th. Yankees up 9-3. .com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, Mark Teixeira, number 2, Nick Swisher, number 3, Brett Gardner, number 4, Curtis Granderson. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Sometimes I feel upside down, Tino. What's the 70?
Yeah, what's that all about?
I don't know. I have no idea. 70? She seems happy, and that's really all that counts.
Something about 70 with her.
We go to the 8th.
It's not triggering anything?
No. I was 9 years old in 1970. That's about all it. Pitch to Cust is outside. And a strike, 1-1. Cust 0 for 2. You know, the A's have their starter, Vin Mazzaro. They have Jack Cust. And they also have Andrew Bailey. All 3 of them are from New Jersey. No other major league team has more than 1 Jersey native. How about that? count 2-1.
It's incredible. You talk NBA basketball, NFL football.
Now we're talking scouting certain areas.
2-1. 2-2.
Pretty nice. So Jack had his parents out on the field the last couple of days watching batting practice. Of a hitting academy in Flemington, New Jersey, I believe it is.
How many Jersey guys are there in the boots around the major leagues, Mike?
Well, we have Leiter. That's about all I can tell you. Tom McCarthy of the Phillies is from New Jersey. And the 3-2. Rocketed. Right field, a base hit that's going to get past Swisher and go to the wall. Custard's going for 2, and he's going to get there with a leadoff double here in the 8th.
Again, Chad Godin, his job is to come in and throw strikes. Came right at Jack Cust. Fastball up, and he gets on top. A little top spin into the corner. Again on Yesmo, you see the hands inside, the barrel finishes, nice extension. It's what he teaches at his hitting academy in Flemington right there. Knob to the ball, finish high.
Getting paid by Jack?
Not yet.
John has 2 sons, though. He's thinking about selling them. Maybe a little scholarship. Here's Kuzmanov. There's the strike.
Suns aren't thinking about baseball right now. They're right in the middle of football. Game's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Brian's still ferocious?
Brian he's still having a good time, a little middle linebacker. But to tell you the truth, the August practices are starting to wear him down a little bit.
Really?
You know, he enjoys that game time on Sunday and practice is building up. He doesn't have that end result right now, so he's getting a little tired. Man, Logan's a little wide out. Doesn't quite have the physicality of Brian.
Can I tell you what my son's doing right now in high school? He's a junior in high school.
Right.
He played basketball his first year and his freshman year, and football. Then he played football and lacrosse last year. He loves lacrosse. And now he's addicted to lacrosse. He's a year-round lacrosse guy. Well, lacrosse at school doesn't start till December now. So he went out for the bowling team, and he made the bowling team in high school.
Nice.
So Michael Kay was a 4-year letterman in bowling.
Popped up right field.
He came home first, second day of school and says, "Dad, I'm going to try out for the bowling team." I said, "Great, you know how to bowl?" He says, "No, I'm going to try." So he went out there and he made the team.
Now, you mentioned all these sports. You didn't say baseball. How come he doesn't play baseball?
He's there. He stopped playing baseball when he's about 13 years old.
I was going to ask Tino, too, because my Brian is 10, and he kind of had a rough year last year with baseball, and he's thinking about lacrosse. Yeah,
that's a great sport, especially up here in the Northeast. My son's played in tournaments at Rutgers University and a lot of tournaments around the country, and he loves it. It's a great sport, and he's pretty good at it. He's about 6'2", 220. I go, "You're a 6'2", 220 bowler." He's a great kid. I'm looking forward to the matches and learning a little bit about bowling.
Strikes are good.
Yeah.
Gutter balls are bad. That's pretty much what you need to know.
I think he likes the sports that I can't have a say-so. I can't teach him because I don't know anything about it.
Now here's the question. Who's watching your son back home?
The grandparents. My wife's parents are watching him and my younger daughter while we're up here.
Driven out to right field. Swisher is there for the second out. But he could probably get away with a lot more with you guys going.
Oh, absolutely. The grandparents spoiled him to death. But I didn't want to bring his name up last night. We're talking about my daughter going to school and whatnot, and he kept texting me, Don't be afraid to tell him I'm a bowler. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Here's Larish. Looking for a bing right there, but swings and misses. And since there's so many Jersey guys on the A's, it would be a bada bing if he hits it out.
Some things you don't even respond to.
The 0-1. Swing and a miss.
Very quietly, Chatko Dan's doing a nice job in this game. It's a good changeup or a split down and away, 2 in a row, back to Larish.
Hot shot, foul. Nice play by the ball boy. Do you see that Oakland Athletics ball boy who gave 5 straight foul balls to the same pretty girl? And then one of the relievers said, "Can the ball boy have your number?" And they went out on a date.
Really?
Yeah.
Shoot. That's 5 baseballs.
He's playing it very cool, though. I don't think that happened there. The 0-2. And it gets away from Posada as Cuss moves to third. A wild pitch. Yeah, they were on a lot of the morning shows and things like that. Both of the people, yeah. The kid down the left field line in the McAfee Coliseum, or whatever they call it now. It's back to the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
Yeah, if you made a trip out there, you'd know the name of it.
I watch the games. The 1-2. Grounded to short. Jeter's there. And he gets Larish. And that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Tino's kids bowling. John.
Third inning, Nick Swisher on a 3-0 count gets the green light, and he takes advantage of it. Home run number 25, deep into the seats in right field. The Land Rover drive of the game.
A lot of changes for the A's. They did this yesterday. They're doing it again today. We'll try to get them to you as we move along. Here's Pena. There's a strike. Jeff Larish has moved from left to third. Matt Carson comes off the bench to play left. Davis moves from right to center. Crisp is out of the game. Gross takes over in right. Foul back. That one's driven to right field. Gross back. On the track. He makes the play at the wall for the first out. So Pena, bidding for his first home run of the year, falls a bit short.
Booth Bonds are doing a good job, and he's got a little sigh of relief that he didn't give up a home run to Ramiro Pena. Does not have one this year.
Hits the Gardner's a strike. Joe Girardi is going to take Derek Jeter out of the game, not let him get to bat here in the eighth inning as he brings Austin Kearns on deck. So Derek's night is over. 0 for 3 with a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Yankees lead 9-3. And if all the scores hold up right now, in the top of the ninth, Toronto leads Tampa Bay 13-3. The Yankees will break a tie atop the American League East for the first time in 9 days. It's been tied 8 days in a row at the end of play, which is a major league record this time of year. 2-1. Popped up. Coming on is Larish for the first out. Check that, the second out.
The long relievers for both clubs doing a good job. Chad Godin for the Yankees, Booth Bonser for the A's. Nothing else saving some of the relievers for the remaining couple of games for the Oakland A's.
Here's Austin Kearns. Those numbers combined with the Indians and the Yanks.
You also pick up your defensive teammates on both sides as well. When you struggle early in the game and a lot of pitches, a lot of walks, a lot of runs scored, you're standing around there, so long and you're tight, and then all of a sudden you get from the fifth inning on there, you got a lot of zeros on the board, on and off the field, and it really picks up the pace of the game and really saves the legs of the infielders.
Count 1-1 on Kearns. So David Robertson up in the Yankee bullpen. Lance Berkman has been rehabbing the last couple of days at AA Trenton. He will come off the DL tomorrow when the rosters expand. He says his ankle is fine after tonight, and he also did something that big league players, when they rehab down in the minor leagues, they like to do. It's a great message to send to the kids. He brought the players a huge spread from Outback. A little bloomin' onion, that whole deal.
It's a big league move.
Those minor league players, they love that. Instead of getting their sandwich after the game, maybe a cup of soup, all of a sudden you have some steak, chicken, some pasta maybe. They love when the big leaguers come down and rehab.
Remember when Michael Jordan played AA baseball, he bought a brand new bus for the Birmingham Barons. The 2-2. Grounded foul. You ever do a minor league rehab, Tina?
No, I never did.
Never did?
No.
John?
Fortunately, I never got hurt. I mean, I got hurt, tore my ACL one year. I was out for the year. John?
I did 1 in 98. Dislocated my thumb. Spent a couple of days at AAA Durham for the then Devil Rays.
Sprang for a little nice spread or what?
I did. I sprang for a little nice spread. Forget where it was. I mean, you tell the clubhouse guys pretty simple. Hey, I want you to go out and get some food, cater it in for everybody, and take care of it.
Swing and a miss. Kearns down on strike. So Boof Bonser does not give up a run in relief. We go to the 9th inning. Yankees. Playoff picture with highlights from around the league. It's all coming up after the final out. Only on Bob Lorenz back in the studio, and Kimberly Jones will work the clubhouse. New pitcher for the Yankees, David Robertson. David Robertson did not pitch very well on Saturday evening in Chicago. Was not part of the group that worked the last couple of innings on Sunday. Rajay Davis hits one deep to center. One pitch, one out as Granderson runs it down. Robertson's been so good since a sluggish start, and that was a rare misstep on Saturday. Here's Landon Powell.
This will be another nice win for the Yankees if they can get the final 2 outs. Phil Hughes not entirely sharp, but in line to pick up his 16th win of the year. Yankees jump out to a big lead early and try to hold on.
Second highest win total in the American League. Right after Sabathia's 18.
Does he have to be in that Cy Young conversation? ERA,
I think the ERA might push him probably toward the bottom of the voting. No, he'll be in the top 10, I would think. Pretty good for a guy who had to make the rotation out of spring training. Robertson had 19 straight scoreless outings, and then he's allowed runs in back-to-back appearances, so they bring him in here in a 6-run lead, straighten himself out. How does a pitching coach, John, have the time to work with every reliever?
Well, you watch Dave Island when the relievers or all the pitchers are throwing before batting practice, constantly walking around, reminding them certain mechanics, and then you'll see him bring certain players to the bullpen to work on some drills out there. maybe depending on who needs a little work or who needs to fine-tune the mechanics. It's tough for bullpen guys to throw out in the pen to work on something knowing they might be pitching a couple hours later in a ballgame.
That's right. Starters have throw days. The guys in the bullpen have to stay ready. Strike 3, Powell down looking. 91-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner. The Yankees are 1 out away from a win. Here is Gabe Gross, his first at bat. Veteran outfielder. Pitch outside. Coco Crisp in the leadoff spot was 0 for 2, or check that, 0 for 3 with a walk. It's been all Yankees since the first inning when they scored 3 runs. They had 3 in the first, 2 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and been 0 since. Here's Coco. The A's answered with 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the seventh. And that all adds up to 9-3 Yankees. And this should do it. And it does, as the Yankees win this game 9-3 as Teixeira touches up the bag. A 1-2-3 inning for David Robertson, and the Yankees have won the first 2 games of this series. Another big night for Mark Teixeira. 2 hits, a big home run, a run shot, his 30th of the year, and he's hit over 30 in the first 2 years of his Yankee career. Remember to stick around.